Simulan mong abutin ang iyong pangarap na magbibigay dangal sa iyong bukas. Ang suliranin, hindi laging nandyan, dapat mong harapin. Kami iyong kasama sa bawat takin, magkaakbay nating lulutasin. Dito sa Fernandino Teens TV, ang boses mo ay mahalaga. Dito sa Fernandino Teens TV, ikaw lagi ang bida. Ang mga aral ay ginintuang atin ng bawat guro na siyang gagabay sa iyong pagkamulat. Naway umukit ito sa iyong isipan, maging mapanuri, sundin ng wasto at nararapat. Kagandahang asal ang ipakita, ipadama ang pusong may malasakit. Dito sa Fernandino Teens TV, ang boses mo ay mahalaga. Dito sa Fernandino Teens TV, ikaw lagi ang bida. Sakali mang tayo'y subukin ng unos, ating haharapin ng walang takot. Sasamahan ka ni Fernan at Dino, ang bagong barkada mo. Dito sa Fernandino Teens TV, boses mo ay mahalaga. Dito sa Fernandino Teens TV, edukasyon mo'y sigurado na. Dito sa Fernandino Teens TV, boses mo ay mahalaga. Dito sa Fernandino Teens TV, edukasyon mo'y sigurado na.
Fernandino Teens TV.
Oh, Nan, bakit ka napatawag sa aming dalawa ni Dino?
May problema ka ba, Nan?
Wala naman, kasi gusto ko lang ibalita sa inyo na magkakaroon ng partial solar eclipse sa Makalawa.
Iyon naman pala eh. Eh di sabay-sabay nating panoorin.
Oo, gusto ko din makita yon. Ang saya-saya naman.
Kaso, 2:30 ng madaling araw sa atin sa Pilipinas. Paano natin makikita yon?
Oo nga no, nakakahinayang naman.
Ibig sabihin, sa ibang lugar, maoobserbahan nila ang partial solar eclipse?
Oo, maliban sa ating mga nakatira sa Pilipinas at karatig bansa.
Ano kaya ang dahilan bakit may eclipse? At bakit hindi ito madalas nangyayari?
Mabuti pa, ating panoorin ang magiging talakayan ng ating guro sa science para masagot ang ating mga katanungan. Tara, let's watch and learn!
Hello, Fernandino Teens. Good morning. Welcome to Fernandino Teens TV Season 2. I am Ma'am Myleen Guanlao, your science teacher lecturer for today's episode entitled Eclipse, a Mystic Shadow. Join me as we explore and discover more concepts about our topic. Have you ever seen a dragon serpent moving towards the moon and eat it? Do you have any idea what that is? You will know more of it as our lesson progresses. Before we begin the discussion, I will give you 4 riddles to solve. If you are watching via Facebook or YouTube, you may type your answers on the comment box or write your answer on a piece of paper for those who are watching via CLTV. Study the following clues carefully. You only have 5 seconds to answer. Are you all ready? First riddle. I follow you all day long, but when the night or rain comes, I am all gone. Only one color but not one size. Stuck at the bottom, yet I easily fly. Present in sun but not in rain. Doing no harm and feeling no pain. What am I? If your answer is shadow, you got it right. Good job! Here is the second riddle. I provide light, but I'm not a candle. I'm hot, but I'm not a bonfire. I have rays, but I'm not an aquarium. I am a star, but I'm not a celebrity. I rise in the morning, but I'm not someone getting out of bed. What am I? Is your answer sun? That's correct. You are brilliant. Now, let me see if you can still answer my third riddle. I'm spherical, but I'm not a soccer ball. I can be full even though I haven't eaten anything. I have craters, but I'm not a volcano. I have a dark side, but I'm not Darth Vader. I can be seen at night, but I'm not a star. I affect tides, but I'm not the wind. What am I? Is your answer the same as mine? If your answer is moon, then you got it right. Bravo! Now let me see if you can still answer the fourth and final riddle. Last riddle is, Earth, moon, and sun, over the moon the mighty ball of gas hide. Sudden darkness, those on the path. Two shadows casted from the land, and light reappear after a while. Did you answer Eclipse? Amazing! You are so brilliant, Fernandino teens. You have answered the riddles excellently. I guess you already have an idea of our lesson for today. Today, we shall be talking about eclipse. This topic will help you understand how eclipses occur and the beliefs and practices during their occurrences. The following are the objectives of this lesson. First, define and explain how an eclipse occurs. Second, differentiate solar from lunar eclipse. Third, explain the formation of shadows in space. And lastly, describe how beliefs on eclipses affect people's lives. Before we proceed to our lesson, let us have a simple game. If you are watching at home via CLTV, YouTube, or Facebook, you can write your answer on the chat box or on a piece of paper. I am going to show you some sentences and you'll have to decide if they are fact or bluff. Write fact if the statement is true and bluff if the statement is false. Are you ready? Let's start. Statement number 1. Ancient Tagalog of eclipse is laho. Is it a fact or a bluff? If your answer is fact, good start. Statement number 2. Eclipse is pronounced as eclipse in Tagalog. Is it a fact or a bluff? Perfect! It is a fact. Statement number 3. The Bakunawa is a serpent-like dragon in Philippine mythology, and it is believed to be the cause of eclipses. Is it a fact or a bluff? If your answer is fact, it is correct. Impressive! Statement number 4. A shadow is formed when a celestial body is obscured by another object. It is a fact or a bluff? Is your answer bluff? Then you got it right, because it is not a shadow but an eclipse. Last statement. Some people see eclipses as evil omens that bring death, destruction, and disasters. Is it a fact or a bluff? If your answer is fact, you are absolutely right. There are some people who still believe in superstitions. Keep in mind that superstition is any belief or practice considered by non-practitioners to be supernatural, faith, magic, or fear of what is unknown. Bakunawa is one of it. You did a great job, Fernandino teens. Your participation makes our activity livelier and more interesting. Now you have learned that the Tagalog word of eclipse is laho or eclipse. I know our topic is getting more interesting and you will learn more about eclipses when Fernandino Teens TV Season 2 returns.
Ang Schools Division Office City of San Fernando, Pampanga ay kaisa ng Department of Education sa pagsasagawa ng mga proyekto at programa na tumutugon sa mga pangangailangan ng mga mag-aaral. Inilunsad ang Division Call Center for Tutors and Guidance Counselors upang magbigay ng educational at psychological assistance sa mga mag-aaral, magulang at stakeholders ng division. Kaya, kung may nais kayong itanong tungkol sa pag-aaral, maaaring magpadala ng mensahe sa Division Call Center for Tutors and Guidance Counselors Facebook page o tumawag sa mga numero na makikita sa ibaba ng inyong screen tuwing Lunes hanggang Biyernes sa ganap na alas 8 ng umaga hanggang alas 6 ng gabi. Maaari rin kayong sumangguni sa ating guidance counselors na nagbibigay ng guidance and counseling services. Lahat ng inyong ibabahagi ay mananatiling confidential. Ang nasabing programa ay nagsisilbing daan upang malaman ang feedbacks ng stakeholders para matulungan ang ating divisyon na mapagbuti pa ang mga sumusunod na programa. Ano pang hinihintay ninyo? Tumawag na sa aming mga numero o bumisita na sa aming Facebook page at magpadala ng inyong mga katanungan.
Fernandino Teens TV.
Welcome back to Fernandino Teens TV Season 2. Eclipse, a mystic shadow. Do you know how shadows are formed? How about eclipses? Do you think that shadows and eclipses are related in a way? You will know all the answers to these questions as we continue to unravel the mystery of shadows. Are you ready? Toddlers are often scared of their own shadows, thus making them cry in fear. Kids and adults usually play with shadows by forming different shapes and animals. Some people use shadows to perform and create a good show like the well-renowned artist Elgama Penumbra. Playing shadows and creating zizes and other shapes and animals with it is an example of an art form called shadow art. Shadow art is a type of sculptural art that uses shadow to create an artistic effect. The 2D shadows are cast by 3D sculptures and can give rise to a work that is wonderful, inspiring, and unnerving. Kumi Yamashita is a renowned artist who employs shadow art techniques in her work. And Elgama Penumbra is an all-male shadow play group from the Philippines, best known for being the winners of the first season of Asia's Got Talent, a group of young artists which specialize in shadow theater. But how are shadows formed? A shadow is formed when a light source is blocked by an object. The shadow will darken the object on which it falls. The distance of the object from the light source affects the size of its shadow. The occurrence of shadows is an ordinary phenomenon that you experience every day. Shadows can be seen anywhere. Sometimes, the shadows appears bigger than the original object. Other times, smaller. The closer an object to the light source, the smaller the shadow that will be created. Let us have fun by guessing the following shapes or forms created by the following shadows. My dear Fernandino teens, you may write your answer on a sheet of paper, or if you are watching this episode via Facebook or YouTube, you can write your answer on the comment section below. Let us begin. What art form is created in the following hand shadows? Number 1. Do you see a bird that is flying? Excellent! Number 2. Amazing! I can hear you say it is a deer. Number 3. Do you have the same guess as mine? Very good. I thought the crab will pinch me. Did you feel what I felt, Fernandino teens? Number 4. Did you feel a creepy feeling? If your answer is spider, you are correct. Bravo! Number 5. If your answer is duck, excellent! It is a duck on a water. Did you find our activity amazing, Fernandino teens? To continue the fun learning, you can create shadows of different animals and play with your family by creating various hand shadows. If we can create shadows by using a flashlight or any light source here on Earth, how about in the outer space? Are shadows formed there too? How can you tell when you are here on Earth? Fernandino teens, you can perform the same activity at home with the help of your parents. As the two Fernandino teens demonstrate, are there shadows in space? This activity will help you answer the questions related to shadows on space. The materials that you will use in the activity represent some astronomical objects in space. You will simulate space by making the activity area dark, by covering the windows with dark materials such as black garbage bag or dark cloth. Watch and observe the video demonstrations. 5 questions related to the simulation will be asked afterwards.
The title of the activity is Are There Shadows in Space?
The materials needed are the following.
1 big ball, a plastic or styrofoam ball.
1 small ball. Diameter must be about 1/4 of the big ball.
Flashlight or other light source.
2 pieces of barbecue stick about 1 foot long.
Any white paper or cardboard larger than the big ball. And styrofoam block, bath soap bar, or any material that can be used as a base.
For the procedure, first, pierce the small ball in the middle with the barbecue stick. Then, push the stick into the base to make it stand. The small ball represents the moon. Do the same to the big ball. The big ball represents the earth.
Second, hold the flashlight and point it towards the small ball or the moon. The distance between the flashlight and the ball should be 1 foot. Observe the small ball as you shine light on it.
Third, place the big ball or the earth 1 foot away from the moon. Make sure that the sun, the moon, and the earth are on a straight line. Observe what is formed on the surface of the earth after putting light into the moon.
Fourth, place the white paper 1 foot away from the earth. The white paper must be facing the earth. Observe what is formed on the white paper.
Fifth, ask a family member to move the moon along a circular path. Observe what happens to the shadow of the moon as you move the moon around the earth. Observe the effect of the shadow of the earth on the moon as the moon reaches position X.
What they just performed is a simulation on the formation of shadows of astronomical objects in space. Fernandino teens, let us see if you have attentively watched the video. I have prepared 5 questions. All you have to do is answer the following questions. You can use the video illustration that will be shown as your reference. Write your answers on the comment section below or on a sheet of paper. Feel free to write or express your answer in the language you are most confident with. Are you ready? Perfect! Let's begin. Question number 1. What is formed on the other side of the moon after turning on the flashlight? Did you see anything? The answer is none or nothing. Okay. Question number 2. What is formed on the surface of the Earth after putting light in front of the moon? The shadow of the small ball, the moon, is formed on the surface of the big ball, the Earth. Do you have the same reason as mine? Then you are fantastic. Question number 3. What is formed on the white paper after placing it 1 foot away from the Earth? The shadow of the big ball, the Earth, is formed on the paper. Do you have the same answer? You are great, Fernandino teens. Question number 4. What happens to the shadow of the moon as it moves around the Earth? As the small ball which represents the moon moves, its shadow moves too. Do you have the same answer as mine? Then you are correct. Last question. What is the effect of the shadow of the Earth on the moon as the moon reaches position X? The shadow of the big ball, which is the Earth, darkened the small ball, the moon. Is your answer like mine? If yes, you are brilliant. You did a great job, Fernandino teens. The formation and darkening you have observed in the activity are the same as the formation of shadows commonly seen around you. When shadows are formed on astronomical objects, a darkening effect is observed. This phenomenon is called an eclipse. But how do eclipses happen? You already know that the sun gives off light. As the different members of the solar system move around the sun, they block the light from the sun and form shadows. This means that the planets have shadows, and even their moons have shadows too. But we cannot see the shadows that they form because we are far from them. The only shadows that we can observe are the shadows of the moon and Earth. When we get back, we will be describing the different types of eclipse. Please stay tuned. We will be right back after this short break.
Maya po oras kaya kayo, Fernandinos. Ako pala ay Elwin Arl Serrano ng City Tourism Office ng Siyudad San Fernando. Ngayong bulan na ini, pagmasusyan tayo ang National Heritage Month na ating temang Victory and Humanity, Upholding Filipino Heritage and Identity. Kambena nini, metong karang aktibidades na ng syudad, apin ning launching ning bayong Heritage Passport. Yung Heritage Passport, apin ning metong karing proyekto ning kaya katamong syudad, yung pamanamuna ng Mayor Edwin D. Santiago. Anong nuka rin makalagelangan ding eganagan ng heritage sites, heritage structures, na akit tamo king kaya katamong heritage district. Makakayado din kini, ding importansya da ding mapil na tradisyon, kaya ni syudad, kalupa ng pamangawang parol, ang po yung pamangalesa. May aho siyang heritage passport, uling atin kang dapat gawan, anong nukaran puntalan mo lading at yung passport, at saka ka mag-selfie. Kay ba't kanta, palto making tourism office, at mamiyalang sticker ka rin ega na ganang apuntulan mong lugar. at timong may ngari ang tutong passport. Balo mingeni, panahon na ini, tamo makaimbisa lumal, uli na ng COVID-19 pandemic. Kaya naman kimbanwa ngayon agkatan ko labing bikers tamo, edad 18 hanggang 50, imbis na lumaot kayo po, di na nyo lang dita ka oras, di kaya katamong heritage structures, kaya ni syudad. Anya naman karing mumo ng 50 bikers ang makayari kaya katamong heritage passport, midinan lang premium only San Fernando loot bag. Inggawan nyo mo bakit ta makapag-register, munta kayo mismo opisina na ng City Tourism, ng munisipyo, at saka kayo magdalang metong valid ID. Kabinan kaya kayong heritage passport, ating makasipit ang instruction nung nano pa ing dapat gawan. Anya naman ka rin hanggang kapadyakin, nanano ko pa, tara na!
Fernandino Teens TV.
You are still watching Fernandino Teens TV Season 2. You have just learned that an eclipse is a phenomenon where there is a complete or partial obscuring of a celestial body by another. On this part, you will explore how eclipses happen. There are two types of eclipses. These are the solar eclipse and lunar eclipse. The first type of an eclipse is a solar eclipse. It occurs when the moon comes directly between the sun and earth. Solar eclipse happens when the new moon casts a shadow on earth. When the sun, moon, and earth are aligned, a solar eclipse occurs. A portion of the earth is engulfed in a shadow cast by the moon, which can be fully or partially black sunlight. The shadow of an eclipse consists of two parts, namely umbra and penumbra. The gray outer region is the penumbra, while the darker inner region is the umbra. The penumbra is the only part of the light which is dimmed but has not been totally black, while the umbra is the part of a shadow in which all of the light has been blacked. If you are standing within the umbra of the moon's shadow, you will see the sun disappear from your view. The surroundings appear like it is early evening. In this case, you are witnessing a total solar eclipse. Total solar eclipse occurs when the moon completely covers or 100% covers the sun's disk. It only means that all three celestial bodies, the sun, moon, and earth, are perfectly aligned. But if you are in the penumbra, you will see the sun partially covered by the moon. There are no dramatic changes in the surroundings. There is no obvious dimming of sunlight. In this case, you are observing a partial solar eclipse. A partial solar eclipse occurs when the moon partially covers the sun's disk. The sun, moon, and earth are not perfectly aligned. The sun appears to have a dark shadow on only a small part of its surface. Partial solar eclipses are quite common, and if you are not aware of it, you will not even notice it. Second type of an eclipse is a lunar eclipse. In lunar eclipse, the moon is in the shadow of the earth or when the moon moves into the earth's shadow. These occur only when the sun, earth, and moon are exactly or very closely aligned with earth between the other two, which can only happen at a full moon. When the entire moon is within the umbra, it will look totally dark. At this time, you will observe a total lunar eclipse. The eclipsed moon appears as a faint red disk in the sky due to the small amount of light being refracted through the Earth's atmosphere. This appearance gives a lunar eclipse a nickname of a blood moon due to its reddish copper appearance. But when the moon passes only through a part of the umbra, a partial lunar eclipse will be observed. A part of the moon will look dark while the rest will be lighter. Do you know how often do eclipses occur? There are 2 to 5 solar eclipses each year, with a total eclipse taking place every 18 months or so. Whether you can view that eclipse depends on where you are in the world. As the Earth rotates, the moon's shadow on Earth travels from west to east. Why don't eclipses occur every new moon? Eclipses only occur if the moon is located within 0.5 degrees of the plane of the ecliptic, on a line that passes through the center of the Sun and the Earth. The moon travels along an orbit that is inclined by 5 degrees to the ecliptic plane. So there are only 2 opportunities each month, when it passes through the plane of the ecliptic. These points are called the ascending and descending nodes. Eclipses of the Sun only occur if new moon occurs, when the moon is near of one of these nodes. A similar argument explains why lunar eclipses do not occur every full moon at the node opposite the Sun from the Earth. That is the reason why eclipses only happen when the moon aligns with the Sun and Earth. Let me check if you are really attentive, Fernandino teens. Let us check your understanding about eclipse and shadow in space by playing text twist. Arrange the jumbled letters to form a word. Use the given description as clues. You can write your answers on a paper or write it on the comment section if you are watching via YouTube, Facebook, or CLTV 36. Are you ready? Let's begin. Number 1. A phenomenon when shadows are formed on astronomical objects and a darkening effect is observed. If your answer is eclipse, you are correct. Number 2. It is the gray outer region in an eclipse. This part is considered dimmed since it is only partially blocked. Did you answer, Penumbra? You are correct. You are doing well, Fernandino teens. Number 3. It is a darker inner region in an eclipse and part of a shadow in which all of the light has been blocked. Is your answer Umbra? Amazing! That's correct. Remember, an eclipse is a natural phenomenon that occurs when one heavenly body such as moon or planet moves into the shadow of another heavenly body. In some ancient and modern cultures, eclipses have caused fear, inspired curiosity, and have been associated with myths, legends, and superstitions. That is the reason why those people who are unaware of its scientific explanation are frightened. These are what we call beliefs. Superstition or pamahiin in Filipino is any belief or practice that people hold to be true that are irrational or supernatural, attributed to faith or magic or fear of the unknown. Many people around the world still see eclipses as evil omens that bring death, destruction, and disaster. Here are 5 superstitions about eclipse. Number 1. Solar eclipse can be a danger to pregnant women and their unborn children. Number 2. An eclipse is a premonition of the following events: apocalypse, end of the world, and or coming of a great evil. Number 3. Wear protective gear and never look directly at the sun during a solar eclipse. Number 4. Creating noise such as screaming or banging during eclipse to scare the beast and prevent it from swallowing the sun. Number 5. Animals and plants exhibit peculiar activities during eclipse. Different countries have a rich culture and beliefs about eclipse. And until now, some of these mentioned superstitions are still practiced. But until now, no proof has been offered to show that they are true. However, there are beliefs that have scientific basis. In science, explanations are supported with evidence. Some of the superstitions have scientific explanations. Which among the 5 superstitions mentioned have scientific explanation, and which of them do not? Identify which of the following statements or beliefs has scientific basis by using happy face and sad face. If the beliefs do not have scientific explanations, you can write your answer on a piece of paper or type your answer on the comment section. Let us begin. Statement number 1. Solar eclipse can be a danger to pregnant women and their unborn children. Is it a happy or a sad face? Did you answer sad face? Very good, you got it right. Statement number 2. An eclipse is a premonition of the following events: apocalypse, end of the world, and or coming of a great evil. Is it a happy or a sad face? If you answered sad face, you got it right. Wonderful! Statement number 3. Wear protective gear and never look directly at the sun during a solar eclipse. Could this be a sad face or a happy face? That is right. It is happy face because it may cause retinal burns or known as eclipse blindness. In fact, it is 10,000 times brighter than the full moon and will certainly harm your retina. So, if you need to observe a solar eclipse, you may look at it through a solar filter, such as welder's goggles, or watch its reflection on a basin of water to keep your eyes or vision safe. Statement number 4. Creating noise such as screaming or banging during eclipse to scare the beast and prevent it from swallowing the sun. Do you think this is true? Is it a happy or a sad face? Did you answer sad face? If that is your answer, you got it right. Statement number 5. Animals and plants exhibit peculiar activities during the eclipse. Is it a happy or a sad face? It is a happy face. You are right. Animals and plants exhibit peculiar activities such as a songbird may stop singing, a cricket may stop chirping, and the petal of some flowers may even start to close up during solar eclipse. You are doing great, Fernandino teens. From the activity, the following statements are superstitious beliefs with no scientific evidence or basis. While these 2 statements are beliefs that have scientific explanation. In our country, the Philippines, a myth related to eclipses has been passed on by adults to young children. It is about the moon being swallowed by Bakunawa. After this short break, you will learn more about Bakunawa only here in Fernandino Teens TV Season 2.
Hindi lamang sa larangan ng pangkabuhayan apektado ang maraming pamilyang Pilipino, kundi maging sa larangan ng pagkatuto ng bawat batang Pilipino. Inilunsad ng siyudad ng San Fernando ang programang Nurturing Environment and System for Thriving or NEST, isang education community pantry na naglalayon para sa isang malawakang pagtulong, pagtantabay at paggabay na ang focus ay ang makapagbigay ng tulong at suporta sa ating mga mag-aaral sa pamamagitan ng pagbibigay ng educational needs gaya na lamang ng school supplies, tutorial sessions, study tips, at iba pang mga pamamaraan na mas lalong makatutulong sa pag-angat ng ating edukasyon. Dahil hindi hadlang ang pandemya sa magandang kinabukasang naghihintay sa ating mga mag-aaral. Sino-sino nga ba ang mga kalahok sa programang ito? Sa pagtutulungan ng ating school administrators, guro, magulang, at iba pang mga miyembro ng ating komunidad gaya ng barangay officials at sangguniang kabataan ay siguradong magiging mas matagumpay ang programang ito. Paano nga ba ang magiging proseso ng naturang programa? Una, magkakaroon tayo ng isang Facebook group, ang Pampanga High School Nest Education Community Pantry na pangungunahan ng Educational Pantry Coordinator. Ang mga magulang, tagapangalaga at mga guro ay ia-add ng ating Educational Pantry members sa Facebook group na ito. Sa page na ito maaaring i-post ng mga magulang at tagapangalaga o sino mang miyembro ng Educational Pantry ang kanilang mga kahilingan o requests. Kailangan ding ilagay ang pangalan ng mag-aaral, grade at section para sa mas agarang aksyon. Oo nga pala, hindi lang requests ang pwedeng i-post. Pwede ring mag-post ang mga nais magbigay ng tulong o mga gustong mag-donate. Sabi nga nila, sharing is caring. Tandaan na ang Facebook group na ito ay pribado at posts na may kaugnayan lamang sa page na ito ang maaaprobahan. Mayroon din palang Google Form na ipamamahagi kung saan maaari nating isumite ang ating requests o kahilingan. Paano naman ang mga walang internet access sa bahay? Huwag mangamba dahil merong mga nakalaang drop boxes ang ating paaralan na kung saan maaaring ihulog ng mga magulang at tagapangalaga ang kanilang requests. Sa mga nais namang mag-donate ng school supplies, maaaring ilagay ang mga ito sa tabi ng drop boxes. Maaari ring mag-donate ng mga kagamitan o cash donation kaakibat ang pagsusumite ng deed of donation form. Pangalawa, mahalaga ang ugnayan ng mga guro at ng mga magulang o tagapangalaga sa programang ito. Gamit ang video calls o chats ay ipahahayag ng mga guro ang adhikain ng programang ito sa mga magulang o tagapangalaga. Maaari ring gawin ang orientation na ito ng face-to-face kasabay ng schedule ng kuhanan ng mga module. Gaya ng nabanggit, hindi lamang mga bagay ang maaaring i-donate. Pwede ring mag-conduct ng tutorial session, study tips, at iba pang mga kagamitan sa pagkatuto gaya ng mga aklat o kaya ay gadgets. Ikatlo, ang requested needs ng ating mga magulang o tagapangalaga ay ililista ng ating Nest focal person. Ang mga coordinator naman ang mag-aayos ng mga ito. Ang advisors ng ating mga mag-aaral, guidance counselor, at iba pang mga guro ay ipaaalam sa ating mga magulang at tagapangalaga ang petsa at oras ng pamimigay ng requested needs na gaganapin sa paaralan. Sabi nga nila, it takes a village to raise a child. Kaya naman aktibo at iba yung pakikilahok ang inaasahan sa pagsasanib puwersa ng paaralan at barangay na siyang tutukoy sa pangangailangan ng bawat Fernandinong mag-aaral at kikilos upang matugunan ito sa tulong at suporta rin ng mga miyembro ng komunidad. Isang malawakang komunidad para sa isang produktibong educational community pantry ay tiyak na lilikha ng iba yung pagkilos upang maging mas magaan at madali ang pagkatuto ng bawat kabataang Fernandino. Kaya naman tandaan, magbigay ayon sa kakayahan, kumuha ayon sa pangangailangan.
Fernandino Teens TV.
Welcome back to Fernandino Teens TV Season 2. In the Philippine mythology, the Bakunawa is a serpent-like dragon. It is believed to be the cause of eclipses, earthquakes, rains, and wind. Other versions of the Bakunawa myth existed in other parts of the Philippines. The most similar to Bakunawa is the Tagalog laho, a serpent-like dragon that causes moon eclipses. And in Kapampangan mythology, lawu, which is depicted as a bird-like dragon or serpent that causes both solar and lunar eclipses. Here is the story of Bakunawa, the tale of the dragon and the 7 moons. According to the Asian folks, when Badhala created the moon, he created 7 of it, so that each would illuminate one night of the week. The nights were bright and ever so beautiful because of these 7 queens, who continuously showed in the night sky. But the joy of the people on earth didn't last, and the beauty of the sky was no more. When one night, a terrifying creature that coiled around the world like an evil serpent envied the beautiful creations of the Almighty, and to the great dismay of the people on earth, swallowed 6 of the moons. This serpent was named Bakunawa. When Bathala saw the creature devouring all but one moon, he planted bamboos on the remaining moon. From afar, they looked like stains on the surface of the moon. To the people's despair at the loss of the 6 moons, they learned to heavily guard themselves so that one last moon would not be taken and destroyed by the frightening serpent. One night, the world panicked at the deafening scream of the people, the banging of drums, among other objects that people get a hold of to produce loud noise and sharp echoes as they saw the moon being attacked by the Bakunawa. Children, big people, the elderly women, and men all cried, "Return our moon," among other unpleasant words. This was the only sound heard throughout the world that night. Cries and moans blended and took over the hearts of the people who feared that the world would end if they lost the only moon they had left. The people came out of their houses and kneeled on the ground to pray that they would not be deprived of their moon. It was a pity sight to behold that our brothers and sisters did not understand then what eclipse was. The loud noises stopped as they saw the Bakunawa finally spit out the moon. The joy of the people at the return of the moon could not be described that night. They lifted their hearts to the sky like flowers and uttered their praises of gratefulness to the Almighty who owned all creations. Up to this time of progress, many still believed in the Bakunawa, and a lot still screamed, and those in the mountainous regions and shores still practice this when an eclipse occurred. Let us summarize the lesson. Eclipse is mainly the result of the motion of the sun, earth, and moon through space. As the moon goes around the earth, it sometimes forms a straight line with the sun and earth, leading to the occurrence of eclipses. We do not directly see nor observe the motions of the earth and moon, but we can observe the phenomena that arise because of them. There are 2 types of eclipse. First is the solar eclipse. This happens when the moon casting a shadow on earth and blocking our view of the sun. The sun, moon, and earth are aligned. Second is the lunar eclipse. This occurs when the moon moves through Earth's shadow at full moon. The sun, earth, and moon are aligned. Solar and lunar eclipses may be total and partial. The shadow of an eclipse consists of 2 parts. Penumbra is only part of the light that is dimmed but not totally blocked, while umbra is the part of a shadow in which all the light has been blocked. Fernandino teens, for our evaluation, Type in your answer on the comment section. Are you ready? Question number 1. Which of the following is true about umbra and penumbra? A. Umbra and penumbra are two types of eclipse. B. Umbra and penumbra are two types of seasons. C. Umbra is the lighter inner area while penumbra is the darker outer area. D. Umbra is the darker inner area while penumbra is the lighter outer area. Correct! It is letter D. Umbra is the darker inner area while penumbra is the lighter outer area. Question number 2. Why do we need to wear sunglasses in observing the eclipse? A. To appear beautiful when posted in social media accounts. B. To be more fashionable while watching. C. To prevent eye damage. D. To be more comfortable. Amazing! The answer is C. To prevent eye damage. Question number 3. The diagram shows that the moon at 4 position in its orbit around Earth. What should be the position of the moon so that an observer on Earth could see a lunar eclipse? A1, B2, C3, D4. If your answer is C, you are right. Question number 4. What type of eclipse is seen on the picture? A. Lunar eclipse. B. Partial eclipse. C. Solar eclipse. D. Total eclipse. Did you answer solar eclipse? Amazing! You got it right. Were you able to get a perfect score, Fernandino teens? Great! Let us tap our right shoulder for answering them correctly. This only shows that you, Fernandino teens, learned so much on our episode today. These are the references used in this learning episode. Again, this is your science teacher, Ma'am Myleen Guanlao, leaves you with a saying, be the moon and inspire people even when you're far from full. Thank you for watching Fernandino Teens TV Season 2.
Ngayon, alam ko na ang dahilan kung bakit nagkaroon ng eclipse.
Solar eclipse pala kapag ang buwan ay nasa pagitan ng araw at ng ating mundo. Ang buwan ay dumaan sa harap ng araw at naharangan ang sikat nito papunta sa ating mundo at maoobserbahan lamang ito kung ito ay mangyayari sa umaga o hapon.
Kaya sa darating na makalawa, ay hindi na natin ito maoobserbahan sa Pilipinas dahil madaling araw sa atin.
Lunar eclipse naman kapag ang Earth o mundo ay nasa pagitan ng araw at ng buwan. Nagpupula ang kulay ng buwan sa mga oras na iyon.
Huwag nating kalimutan na nangyayari lamang ito kapag nagkakaroon ng alignment ang araw, ang ating mundo at buwan.
At ito ay maaaring total solar o lunar eclipse at partial solar o lunar eclipse. Ang dami na naman nating natutuhan sa araw na ito. Kaya naman,
maraming salamat, ma'am!
Isa na namang makabuluhang talakayan ang ating natunghayan, Fernandino Teens.
Magkita-kita tayong muli sa susunod na episode ng
Fernandino
TV
Season 2,
kung saan ang kabataang Fernandino ay angat sa angking talino.
Bagong umaga, yakapin mo ang bagong pag-asa. Simulan mong abutin ang iyong pangarap na magbibigay dangal sa iyong bukas. Ang suliranin, hindi laging nandyan, dapat mong harapin. Kami iyong kasama sa bawat takin, magkaakbay nating lulutasin. Dito sa Fernandino Teens TV, ang boses mo ay mahalaga. Dito sa Fernandino guro na siyang gagabay sa iyong pagkamulat. Naway umukit ito sa iyong isipan, maging mapanuri, sundin